All right, it's the day before Thanksgiving, so let's go see if we can find a load today. Stay tuned right after this. Attention. Good morning. Check 1, 2. Let me turn this up a little bit for me. You guys want to see something cool? Check out my new shirt. Look at that. Gotta move the beard. I got this really cool shirt from a really cool YouTuber. So make sure you check it out. DIY Semi. So check 1, 2. LOL. Yes, Charles. Good morning. Hope all is well, man. You love the shirt, Don. Yep, you love the shirt. Let me fix something here. Do. There, we'll close that gap a little bit. All right. I hope all is well. It's the day before Thanksgiving. It is Wednesday, November 27th. And we're going to look for some freight. Now, all my trucks are busy, but I do need to look for some stuff on Friday. Unless you're drop and hook like Schneider, you're not going to find anything that picks up tomorrow for the most part. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm sure there might be somebody out there that's doing something, but for the most part, we went over this on Monday. So on Monday, we went over some strategies of what you want to do during and before and after Thanksgiving Day. And also want to talk about gratitude today. So we're going to look for some freight, and we're going to talk about some gratitude, because that's the whole purpose of Thanksgiving, is you give thanks to the things that have made you the person that you are today, and the advantages and the disadvantages that you have. You got to be thankful for the bad stuff too, because that's how we learn. You can't learn how to get back up if you don't fall down a few times, right? So if you fail, you know what? That's okay, man, because you can get back up and you learn from it. And now if you keep making the same mistake over and over, then that's kind of a foolish thing. But anyways, I hope all is well, man. Good morning. Let's get in this. Where's my coffee? Almost forgot the most important part. Man, I can't believe. I wish I can get some Snorelord cups like this size. I guess I can get one of them laser engraving things. What's funny is I got an ad for the X tool on Facebook, and I'm like, huh, why am I getting ads for that? And then I saw that little guy is starting to do that stuff. You get a laser, you engrave an image on this, and I don't know how much those lasers cost. That'd be kind of cool. It's kind of like a laser driven CNC machine. But we got our coffee. We've got warmth. I uploaded a YouTube short with my kitten on the OG channel, so make sure you check that out. Make it go viral so I can get rich and famous. Because that's the only thing that will get me rich and famous is cat videos. But anyways, cheers. Let's talk about. Let's go over the comments, and then we'll look for some freight. And I'll tell you the areas that I'm going to look at, and then the strategies that we're going to look at. So. All right, so let's go over the comments first. Say good morning to the people that jumped in here. WCF Invader, good day. Good day. Hopefully you've got that trailer sold soon, my friend. Hopefully. Wink, wink. So, Charity, good morning. TK, hey now. He loves that. Hey, Snorelord. Charles, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a hot minute. Stop in to wish you and your family happy Thanksgiving. Well, you too, Charles. I hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. Randy, good morning from Wildwood, Florida. Good deal. Rookie Trucker, good morning. Heading to the airport to fly home for the holiday back out on Saturday. You must be really far from home if you're having to fly. Probably are. I forgot. You live out west. So yeah, I can see that. Southbound Packturn, what's up? Gary Cook, good turkey morning. Charles, check 1 2. LOL. Love the shirt. You love my shirt. I love my shirt too. It's cold. Yes, it is cold. It's going to get colder tonight, I believe. It's going to get down to the 20s. I think you guys might be seeing some snow in your area tonight or tomorrow. So there's that. You northern Missourians. Flatbed Trucker, what's up? Charles, wish you and your family happy Thanksgiving. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Reefer 77, good morning, my lord. I am not the Lord. I'm just the Snorelord. Appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Definitely need coffee. Yep. It's a big cup of coffee. It's not like them. Here's the thing. If I get the big travel mug, which, I have those for sale on my site too. That's pretty cool. That's for traveling. But this time of year, especially, the cup of coffee gets cold quick, and I hate that. So I thought, I want something with a handle that's the size of a large cup of coffee that I don't have to guzzle because it's cold, right? I like nursing it. And then after I'm done with, I think I do about 2 of these, and then I switch to green tea. And that seems to be I drink hot liquids all day. It's pretty much, even in the summertime. I know a driver that went out of his way to put an ice maker in his truck, and I'm like, man, it's actually not good for the body to be drinking ice cold beverages all the time. Body has trouble absorbing that. But that's a different conversation for the other channel. Good morning, Steve. Did I tell you I'm going to Toronto, Ontario next week? I was invited to big Toronto Transportation Council dinner. The who's who of trucking will be there. I am paying flight, hotel, car. Well, I hope you have a good time. I hope you're able to do some extracurricular activities as well. I had a great conversation with CDN, as I always do. Yesterday, we were talking about ELDs and the like, and it was a good conversation. He's getting, as he talks to more carriers, he's getting more and more perspectives of what we as carriers deal with. So I am thankful for my mentors, even if I'm out of the industry, and for the career change. Snorelord and DIY Semi are the greatest. Sterling Wheels pretty dang good as well. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Cherry says, I can make a couple of those kind for you as sublimation. What are you talking about? Oh, Are you talking about the crochet things? I just thought it was a neat little project for people that like to crochet. I don't need a door stopper, so don't I don't need that. Everybody's like, "What are you talking about?" Uh, Gary Cook, any bad weather anywhere? You know what, Gary? I love that you asked that question because I completely spaced it. There are a few bad spots here, so let me get the weather service up here, and then we'll look at the local radar. Radar. All right. Let's see. Share screen. Window. Boink. Boink. Boom. Got a lot of fog in the southeast here. Some high winds. What's this? Oh, I hate these color codes. Lake wind advisory. Wind advisory. So it's windy if you're crossing into New Mexico. Regardless of what highway you're on, it's going to be windy for a minute, and then you got all the snow and winter weather advisories and all that stuff through Colorado, of course, and Utah. Now, 70 west of Denver, it's a crap show. So just be aware of that. I'm not sure what's going on here at the border here. What is that? Ooh, high wind. All kinds of stuff going on. Rain, mountain, snow, and wind. Oh my. What an interesting title. So, yeah, but the Northeast, what's the Northeast got going on? We got some freeze warnings in the Northeast, I believe. Heavy freezing, no, avalanche warning. That's not right. Winter storm watch. You have a winter storm watch through parts of the lakes in upstate New York, central New York, and then all throughout the Northeast from Vermont on up. So just be careful if you're up in that area, of course. And then very tippy top, the counties that have the blessing of touching Canada, they're all, you got some high wind and some winter storm stuff. So that's your weather report there, my friend. Yep, going to upload another video this morning once it gets brighter out on the video for those interested in the Trucking with Liberty channel. There you go. Happy day, turkeys. Turkeys are not happy for today. No, the cups. Oh. Okay. You can make the cups. Do you have one of them laser deals? I know that. So check this out. So when you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, they got these in the Yeti brand for like $30. These, however, I paid $6 for this one at Aldi. It was literally the last one they had, second to last one they had. It could have been somebody's cup that I just bought. Who knows? But yeah, I like the size. I wish, But Charity, you and I will have to talk about that. Coffee, good. Another F4A win. This time for Echo. Seems that safety second is the new rule. I have no idea what you're talking about. Everyone, please kneel and open the third book of freight rates. Turn to chapter 4, Snorelord's 10 rate commandments before the holidays. You're being silly, CDN. You're being silly. Gratitude. Let's do gratitude first. That's first and foremost, and then we'll talk about what we're seeing on the low boards today. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for I average about 30, 40 people in here, and I'm grateful for that. There are times when I've reached 100, and there are times when I might have 12. Usually it's the Saturday night live feeds with the guitar that I get like 10 or 12 people. But that's fine. I'm grateful that people are even paying attention. And I'm grateful for Like Trucking for allowing me this ability to work from home. And if Jeff was in here, he'd hear that. And I'm grateful for the drivers that we have because they're good drivers. And I'm grateful for the freight that we're able to move. And I'm grateful for the work that the drivers do to keep this freight going. I'm grateful for you as a driver, as a broker, as a friend, I'm grateful that you are in my life, that we are in each other's lives, that we have this good circle. And most of them, I'm grateful for my wife, who puts up with this nonsense, this podcasty thing, this YouTube thing. I'm grateful for I'm grateful for the harsh lessons I've had to learn, and I hope that if I've ever shown you anger or impatience, that I hope you forgive me. And if you do, I'm thankful for that forgiveness. I'm thankful for the other YouTubers that support me, like DIY, Cassius King, Shannon Thomas, 10. Anybody else that's supported this channel and supported me personally. I'm thankful for the people that have sent me gifts, like the Big Red Chicken and hamburger patty makers and and monitors, that kind of thing, microphones. So I'm thankful for my life and my health. And if you're struggling in those areas, I hope that I can be of some service to you. So, anyways, that's my gratitude moment. My name is Nobody. Good morning. If a refrigerated load is rejected and it's the driver's fault, does the carrier have to pay for the load, or do they just not get paid for that load since insurance doesn't cover everything? That is a administrator question. I do not have that answer because I do not have great experience with reefer freight. If insurance doesn't pay, I don't know. I don't know a scenario where insurance wouldn't pay for that. I mean, your rates might go up if it's the driver's fault, but you can have cargo claims that is the driver's fault. So, for example, if you let a load that's supposed to be freeze at this time of year, and this is something that you have to really kind of keep an eye on. If you're doing a load today and it's going to sit all weekend, let's say it's a load of water, be mindful of where the trailer's sitting. If it's got to sit an extra day because of the holiday, that could easily happen. So, but I'm grateful for a wonderful life. Good deal, Gary. Good deal. And look, here's the deal. Gratitude. When I started showing gratitude and feeling gratitude, my life started to turn around. I've dealt with depression for many, many years, especially as a truck driver. And sometimes gratitude is all I have. If the first major repair I ever had to do, as an owner operator, was I blew a turbo. And while it sucked dealing with that, there were so many things to be grateful for. There were so many things that went right on that particular situation. So let me give you a story. So I was going up 65 north, heading to 9094 to go into Chicago. And I was delivering just south of Chicago. And I started to get a turbo fault. And so I pulled the truck over, and I literally had the last possible moment that had a wide enough shoulder before you lost the shoulder, and it was the transition into 9094. Like I was literally getting ready to get on that transition ramp. Had I been about a mile further up, man, I would have made a lot of people mad and late for work. So I called the tow truck. I called Jeff, and he had some good advice. And then I called the tow truck, and the turbo fault went away for a minute. And so when the tow truck guy showed up, he said, well, you might be able to get, and I had a heavy load on. He's like, look, I said, look, it's running for now, but how much would you charge to just follow me to Gary, Indiana? Because Gary, Indiana was 6 miles up the road. And I could drop I was at Schneider at the time. I could drop the trailer there. And he goes, it'll be this much per hour. I'm like, okay, well, let's do that. So he was grateful for the fact that he didn't have to hook the truck up and he was going to make money just following me. So we were on the CB, so that helped. So he follows me into Gary. My truck makes it, and I drop the trailer. I pay him, call up Schneider, have to get my load repowered, which really sucked because I was literally 40 miles from the customer. And those you know that at that time, I don't know if it's still the case, but at that time, Schneider charged you $400, charged the owner operator $400 to repower a load. So it's kind of a kick in the nuts, because not only do you get no revenue for the load, but now you have to pay $400 to get that repowered. But that is the luxury there, is that trailer pull, and someone else can just, deliver it. So a few people told me that I could probably bobtail back to Springfield to get it repaired, because this was also on a Friday afternoon. So a lot of shops were closing for the weekend. So I was going to be sitting all weekend anyway. So I thought, well, let me see if I can get it home if there's no strain on the truck. And my first line of defense was Champaign, Illinois. There's a not Champaign, Bloomington, Illinois. There's that TA with that Peterbilt dealership right there. If I can get that far, I'll make it, and then they can work on my truck on Monday. Well, I got a little bit further than that. I thought, okay, but St. Louis, I got to St. Louis, I got to Troy, Illinois, and did not dare to go further. So I checked the truck in there in CIT, and the mistake, I learned from these two. The mistake I made was I should have found the Cummins shop instead of the Kenworth dealership, because it would have been a little bit lower on the labor rate. But that was on the other side of the river there, so I didn't. I think at that point I was done. I was like, okay, I have to pull this truck over. So I made it to the shop without needing a tow truck. And then they shuttled me across the interstate to the hotel. And I basically spent 2 or 3 days at that hotel. Now, if it had been a week, I was in St. Louis, my wife could have come and got me. And then I had the means to pay for it. I had a hotel. I had food. I had money for food. The shop was pretty cool about things. And there were some complications, which means the repair was going to cost a little bit more. And I had a friend call me and says, "How are you not losing your stuff right now? How are you not losing it?" I'm like, "Well, because I have all these things that have happened good. I have all these things that could have gone wrong, and they didn't. It would have been a much different scenario had I broken down on the transition ramp with a heavy load, and then be forced to stay in the Gary, Indiana area as the truck's getting repaired. In which, Gary would be a high, like, how long would it have taken to get to me? And then I would have had to get a rental car to go home if it was going to be more than a week or two. I mean, there's so many things that could have gone wrong with that, not to mention breaking down on the ramp itself and what that would have caused. So, I mean, there's so many things that happened good in a bad situation. And you have to learn gratitude for those things. The other repair I had was my truck froze up there in Michigan City, Indiana. And I almost parked at the one of those open rest areas, that doesn't really have any facilities. But I decided, no, I need to go to a truck stop. And so I went to this small hole-in-the-wall truck stop that had a Subway, 24-hour Subway. And I idled the truck in the front because there was no parking. And next thing I know, the truck shuts down. And it's like 40 below zero wind chills. I was so grateful for the fact that I had a warm place to go into. Because that been a place that shut down like at 8:00 at night or something like that, that would have been bad. And so the Subway was pretty cool. They didn't mind me just sitting there. I ended up buying a sandwich at the time or whatever, but they were pretty cool. And while I waited for someone to come and help me out, and then I learned quite a few lessons from that. And it was one of the hardest 24 hours of my life because of what the shop was putting me through, what the mechanic was putting me through, and my lack of knowledge of what. There were so many things I would have done differently this time. And I also learned that if you need to idle the truck because it's cold, you better be able to bump up the idle. My truck had not been set up to do that. And I didn't know that. I didn't know you needed to bump up the idle, keep everything thawed out. So there's so many things I learned about everything in those two instances. And so now what that serves is that if a driver calls me with a breakdown or a driver calls me with some kind of issue, I can say, well, this is what I would do. This is what I've learned to not do. This is what you have going for you. Shannon, I see her in here. Shannon calls me all the time. And I try to show her, okay, this is what you got going good for you when she's having a bad day. I've done that with several drivers. I've done that for Charity. I've done that for Randy, and it's experience that allows that to happen. And I'm grateful for these experiences, both good and bad. So, I mean, that's what I mean about being grateful for the bad things, because the bad things teaches you, failure teaches you, struggle, discomfort teaches you. So, and you have to be grateful for those things. As long as they don't kill you, it'll make you a stronger person. CDN says, Ghost Cap, my assumption is you as the carrier won't get paid for load, but you may need to also pay for replacement load or need to ship replacement load at no cost if broker or shipper allows you. Mark Ely, good morning. Flatbed trucker, Gary, Indiana is dangerous. Yes. Orion says, better treat your fuel, son. Yep. Oh, I treated the fuel. There was other issues there too. So, but yeah, it's getting that time of year. So, morning, Snorelord, that's okay, Pam. Hope you're doing well. Nice desert landscape there in your avatar. All right. So, but that's gratitude will help you in that darkness, because you got to understand that solitude that you have in that truck. It can either work for you or it can work against you sometime in the same 5 minutes. And another learning lesson / struggle that I had was when my truck caught on fire. Imagine this. I'm in Gallup, New Mexico, and I'm sitting there in my comfort, watching TV, and eating a meal. And suddenly my inverter beeps. Well, that's weird. So I start up the truck, and then I started to smell smoke. So I lift up the bunk, because that's where I think the smoke's coming from. I don't see anything, so I get out, and there's flames right next to my fuel tank on the driver's side of the truck. So I immediately yell, fire. And the guy to my left, he took off. The truck and trailer he's vroom, he's out of there. The guy to my right, before I can get to my fire extinguisher, he hands me his fire extinguisher. I put it out, and the truck's running, and I can hear air, and so I'm disoriented. It's dark, it's like this time of year, I think, and I'm just like, whoa. And to go from comfort, settle down to that, man, that'll wake your ass up. So security comes out, make sure everything's, make sure everything's good. And the mechanics come out and said, "This is electrical. We can't touch this because I'm losing my air. My truck is losing air." So what had happened was the wiring from the battery to the inverter from the APU caught fire. It arced. And because APU Center in Stratford doesn't know how to install an APU and did not insulate everything correctly, because I had just had my batteries replaced, that's what caused the fire. So here's where gratitude came in. So what the shop did is they like, look, we can't touch anything electrical, but here's what we're going to do for you. I'm going to hand you a wrench, and I want you to take that bolt off and that bolt off. Basically, disconnect this inverter from to the battery. And then he handed me duct tape, and I duct taped the ends, and then zip tied them and tucked them in. It was okay. Now I can deal with your truck. And so he was able to splice the cables, the airlines that went into the tank there. That's where, because they had caught fire too, they had melted, and then charged me $150. I was on my way. And now here's the kicker. I was with Sprint at the time. I could not call anybody. I could barely text, but I could get on Facebook. It was weird. And the Wi-Fi at that TA was just garbage. It was very strange. And so I texted my wife what happened, and I think I was able to get just enough of a signal to talk to her. Maybe not. Maybe not. Because I remember there was nobody there to like comfort me. There was nobody there to say, "Hey, man, it'll be okay." Because I'm telling you, when your truck catches on fire, you don't sleep well for a while. And so, Pale Rider, he texts me. He goes, "Oh man, hey, you call me tomorrow morning when you get a better signal when you start rolling," because I told him I was going to start rolling at 3. And when you're rolling through the desert at 3 a.m., man, the only thing you got is your thoughts, man. And I tended to dwell on things. I wrote a song about it. It's apnea's like first song, Dwelling. And anyways, not about that incident, but that's just what my mind did. I dealt with a lot of depression, especially this time of year. So I call Pale Rider at 3 in the morning once I got a signal, and we were on the phone for 3 hours. Like, he kept me saying until the sun came up and I started going down once I hit the I-17, I was good to go. The 17-mile hill there or whatever. And because I was heading to Phoenix. And I didn't sleep well that night. Any noise or smell, I was tripping pretty good. I was like, whoa, this, and so, Pale Rider also kept me awake. So, and it's, you don't have friends willing to help you step in like that if you're kind of an a-hole and ungrateful, right? And there's been times when Pale Riders needed help, and and I jumped in and helped him because he has done the same for me. And I had another friend who's no longer a friend, but he said you should have let the truck burn down because you weren't making it anyways. He literally said that. And I'll remember that for a long time, because that is not how you support people. That is not how you support a friend. You don't want to lie to them and say, a phrase that could have been said was, well, I mean, I'm glad you made it, but if the truck had burned down, I think it could have been a blessing for you. You could have said it like that. But no, he says, like, you should have let it burn down because you weren't making it. And I'm like, okay. And it's through that trial that I found out who my friends were. And it's through that trial that I discovered that what to do and what not to do. And so I went without an APU for a while. I went without an inverter for a while. I ran my CPAP through one of them plug-in inverters that you plug in your 12 volt. And I stopped bringing food on the truck because I was ultra paranoid of anything being in the truck. And I started gaining weight, based off of that as well. But and CDN, no, that did not happen because there was no insurance claim. Because had the truck actually burned down, that might have been an investigation, but I could not prove that it was their install that did it. But Thermal King, I went to Thermal King and had it inspected, and they would not say it, they would not declare it, but they said that that's probably what happened. And so anytime someone calls me, hey man, you live there in Stratford, what's that APU center like? Don't do it. And I know other people that have had bad issues with them. So if you need APU installed, Carrier was the ones that did mine, and on my Kenworth. But I mean, so it's I was so grateful that I did not burn in the truck, because that truck does not have an escape hatch. That's what I always liked about the Kenworth. Driver and I were talking about this yesterday. You got that side door in the Kenworth. I could put my groceries in, put my stuff in. The Peterbilt didn't have that. It was a 387. I could break the window if I needed to. If I had to jump out. But man, my fat butt probably wouldn't fit through the window. I mean, and that's where that fire would have been. And I just had another. I mean, Trucker Todd. The truck that he was getting ready to get in burned up in like 2 minutes because of a inverter. So I mean, these guys and gals, get your inverters professionally installed. I won a inverter. Spectre was having a contest, for Road Pro. I won one of their inverters, and I had it professionally installed. I paid like $300 to get it installed at Carrier. And they used a heavier gauge wire. I made sure that thing was insulated as insulated could be, with about 3,000 zip ties, because I did not want a repeat of what I dealt with. And then I got a smoke detector, and then I got a carbon monoxide detector, and put those in the truck. So I mean, so many lessons learned, but it was gratitude that got me through that first night. It was gratitude that got me through that first morning. It was gratitude that enabled my friends and family to help me when I needed them the most. So gratitude is important. Yeah, flames next to the fuel tank is not a good thing, right? Had it been gas, it would have been over. Speaking of bad things, Shannon says, so the lid is off my engine in the shop. Cummins is already testing to confirm that the turbo is holding too much pressure even when the idle is 600 RPM. This is a known issue that occurs. So they know what they are dealing with. He is going to call me back with an update. He's working at level 2 with level 2 at Cummins right now. With advice like that, no wonder he's no longer a friend. Geez, sorry you had someone, especially a friend, say that to you. Well, I mean, look, one of the single most important things you can do in your life is surround yourself with good people. And you can look at many, many examples. Who do you surround yourself with? And I imagine that reflects the life that you're leading. And if you're always constantly attacking people and you're angry, you're probably surrounded by the same people. And think about this, and I've said this in a short. When you're doing good things, evil people and hateful people will despise you. But if you're doing good things, good people will love you. If you're doing bad things, the good people will despise you. But the really good ones will try to save you. And that's the truly loving people will try to save you when they see you doing bad things. And that's just what it is, right? All right. So, thank you very much. So, let me read this text here real quick. All right. So, all right. Let's go look at some low boards, shall we? And then we'll see if there's any freight coming out. So let's look at load availability. Let's look at numbers, and we're going to look at volumes on DAT as well. So I promote the 1, 2, 3 low board, but I use more than one low board. And it's healthy to have different levels of tools, A lot of yellow here. So okay, we are on the screen. Oops. We're all grateful that you were not injured and able to share that difficult experience. Well, thank you, CDN. Don says, Buffalo, Iowa to Harrisonville, Missouri for Monday, December 2nd. What do you care, Mr. Non-truck driver? We'll take a look at that, but let me look at the overall maps here to help some people out. All right, so there's our maps. 280 outbound, 254 inbound in Missouri. Let's take a look at that here. Let's refresh this. Let's take a look at Missouri in here. 278, 198 out. These volumes are super low. Let's see what Illinois and Indiana are doing. Illinois' got 415 in, 613 out. Indiana's got 341 in and 308 out. Ohio has 474 in and 448 out. Guys, it's going to be a crap show today if you're trying to book a load today. That's all there is to it. PA, 605 in, 400 out. South Carolina, 290 in, 298 out. Texas, 1435 in, 1306 out. Wisconsin, 224 in, 237 out. And now it is early, but I mean, other than the West Coast, everybody's in their business hours right now. It's going to be interesting. Now, the two trucks I'm looking for, we're looking for Friday. And so I'll be curious to see what these market maps look like on Friday. So your leverage, you think you're going to get that extra bonus dollar, extra a mile because it's a holiday. No, they're just going to pass it till next week. That's funny, Don. Toasted Snorelord. That's a new mixed drink. It is. What would that drink consist of? Good morning, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Roland, appreciate you. Thank you. So let's look at Missouri here. Let's see what the rates are doing. Because here's the thing with these. When you see here's okay, I'm getting ahead of myself here. All right. When you see low volumes, guess what the AI does? It tells you ain't going to get squat, and it tells the brokers the same thing. If you want to keep a certain percentage margin, that AI is going to say, do this, this, and this. Now, here's Neely's Landing to Lebanon, Tennessee. Picks up 10:30 today. Neely's Landing, that's going to be Procter and Gamble. It goes to Lebanon, Tennessee for it's a straight through. See, this one would be a good one if you lived in Tennessee. $700, 10,000 pounds. That's the good thing about that P&G. It's always light loads that come out of there. It's the I believe it's like the toilet paper, the diapers, and stuff like that. And the odds of them being open till later is pretty good. They're not going to go home early on noon on today, and that's going to happen. That's going to happen to a couple of you. Mark my words. Here's a Neely's Lane in the Conway, Arkansas. $1,000 for 370 some odd miles. 329. They've got so they're putting the money on this, but it's got a second stop. It's also straight through delivery. Wonder how that works. This needs to be picked up in less than an hour. Springfield, Missouri to Dayton, New Jersey. No rate. That's for the second. So let's sort this by pickup date. Branson to Houston. That's going to be charcoal. It's going to be heavy. No rate posted. Jefferson City, Edgerton, Kansas. There's Don's load. 191 miles. Probably doesn't deliver till Friday for a 191 mile load. So if you live in Kansas, this might be good. If you live in Missouri, you pick it up. Let's say Don picks this up. He lives in Jeff City there near it. And he would like pick that up and then deliver it Friday morning. Go home under a load, right? So what's the average on this? About 633, 750 to 630. A lot of these short haul rates are coming up a little bit, so that's good news. Now let's go to search. Let's go to find loads. Create new search. Oh, I've already got it in here. St. Louis to anywhere for today, or we need to switch this to Friday. Van search. Not a whole lot here. You got some deadhead going on. St. Elmo to Menominee. Cherokee, Iowa. This is posted several times. These are all 8+ hour. These loads are probably not even there anymore. 21 minutes. This is the newest one. Quincy, Illinois to Memphis, Tennessee. $1,000. Worldwide Express. But I bet you it doesn't deliver till Monday. Bloomfield and Lansing, that's going to probably be Myers. And 1180, that might not be too bad. Get a restart under that load if you need one. And then you're landing in Michigan, which ain't too bad right now. What's the volumes like in Michigan here today? 245 in, 241 out. So fairly even. But guys, these numbers are low. These are like what it looks like at 5 p.m. at the end of the day. So it's going to be a struggle if the brokers will even answer their phones today. Good load and bring back a Niagara water load to deliver in Fulton. There you go. Then you got a little bit of deadhead on, Burlington, Iowa to Romeoville, Illinois. That deadhead's not worth that mileage unless you're just trying to get home. Even then, you're better off just to take the $50 hit and just go home. Then, of course, this one. So now let's say you wanted to book the Salem, Missouri, Boynton Beach, Florida. You've already done your Thanksgiving. You're like, all right, I need some money for Monday morning. Now you're going deep into Florida, but man, you could probably ask for a premium rate on this. You should. Let me rephrase that. You should ask for a premium rate on this because it's a holiday weekend and you're going deep into Florida. And let's look at Florida outbound. 517 in, 556 out. Well, that's interesting. There's not 1,000 loads going into Florida. Huh. Now, Friday morning, this might all change. But the load the truck that I'm trying to get out of St. Louis for Friday, none of these work for me because I need to get them out west. There's not one of these loads going out west. Not one. And that's not a good thing. So I'll look at other sources. So let's go to DAT. All right, let's search loads. Do St. Louis. St. Louis Mo. 100-mile radius. We'll do 150. So I always start with 150. And then if I get a crazy amount of loads, no, I don't have time for a survey DAT. All right, close. 29. Search. 82 loads. Holy crap. That usually is in the hundreds. That's usually in the hundreds, people. So today, trying to find a load today is going to suck. That's all there is to it. So let's sort this by highest rate. Portland, Miami, New York, PA. If I go west, I don't go to California because they're not paying to go into California. Texas, 236 a mile. This is Maida, Missouri, though. If you guys know Maida, Don knows Maida, right? Picks up at 2. Drops off in Tyler, Texas, 8 a.m. That's could be Target. And if that's Target, even if it's not, there's a grocery warehouse there too. That will probably take that dog food. So either way, I don't think so. So we'll keep looking. And that's why there's a good rate on it. 246 a mile to go in, 236 a mile to go into Texas. Jeff City to Dallas, Pace Logistics, I'm not familiar with them. And then we'll sort this by trip to get the loads that they're not posting the rates, right? So let's sort this by longest trip. Because eventually I want to get a truck out to Arizona. Here we go. Edwardsville, Illinois to Phoenix, Arizona. So I'll have to look up that broker. I won't do that here. Mark is saved, so I can come back to it. 64 credit score. It's probably not going to be a good idea to do this load. Trust me on this, right? Virginia, a lot of loads going to Virginia, North Carolina, Florida, Florida, Florida. So now, okay, so I got to get the truck to Arizona, but not until next week, right? So now what I could do is I could two-step it. The driver lives in Kansas, so maybe we grab the St. Elmo, Illinois to Goddard, Kansas. Right? That's why I didn't put Arizona in this destination. And with the lower count, I could put this to 200 miles. And that's the thing with holidays. You're probably going to be doing more deadhead, especially if you have to go home. Here we go. Terre Haute, the Waddell, Arizona. That pops up. But that deadheads the wrong direction. I don't want to do that. So if we get him to Terre Haute, then that load cancels. Then now I'm forced to even go further to Phoenix. And now I'm having to 2 or 3 step it. Right? So we grab that Edwardsville. No, we don't grab that one. That's the one with the 64 credit score. And then the rest of this, now we could do the Poplar Bluff to Denver and then grab either a shorty out of Denver to Phoenix for a crap rate, because the rate I'm getting out of Phoenix is going to be a good one. But weather is a factor in this, and we don't work with that broker anymore. But that goes out west, right? So that's a way to two-step it. Georgia, here we go. Evansville to Wichita. We could do this one, although the deadhead's in the wrong direction. So there's that. Henderson, Kentucky, Park City, Kansas. So, 123 results. So we added about 40 loads to the results by changing the deadhead. But guys, St. Louis is usually known for having about 500 to 600 loads within a 100-mile radius on any given day. It's like a sleeper Chicago. Yeah, so we're going to struggle. And then we could do the St. Peter's to Oklahoma City, low deadhead. Not going to be a great rate per day, leaving Friday, probably delivering Monday. Yeah, it doesn't deliver well, no, it delivers Saturday. Look at that. My guess is that's going to AWG. And then from Oklahoma City, I can either deadhead to Tulsa or Dallas to get a load to Phoenix. So we're going to save this one. Okay. Ooh, this one I like. Pekin, Illinois. It's a little bit of a deadhead, though. So as long as there's an open window on the time, to Aurora, Missouri, $1,000. That puts them in this area, Southwest Missouri. So I know we're good with sunset, so I will save this load. Now, what I like about 123, and see, I'm not seeing any more. Here's Evansville, a little bit of a deadhead to Springfield, Missouri. This is not a good load. Why? Because you're doing 169-mile deadhead the wrong direction for $600, and that probably won't deliver till Monday. And if it's Springfield, it may not be till Monday night. Then there's St. Louis to Little Rock. That might be beer. Let's click on that. If it's beer, I got to watch my permits. $800, probably get them up to 9. But then we also got to watch freeze protect. What's the weather going to be if it's going to sit all weekend in Little Rock? And then can I get to Little Rock? Can I get to Arizona from Little Rock? So I would put a new search up here and look for Little Rock to Phoenix. So these are little things that I do. Here's Columbia to Kansas City. It's a shorty. He can go home for the weekend because that's the area he lives in. But we'll be lucky to get $500 for this. And then it says Armando Cavillo. Sorry, I suck. If interested in doing this daily short term, we can do this. We can offer this load. So in other words, they're looking for a daily. So Don, if you're still running, I would have you call these guys. This might be a good lane for you. Right. So let's go back to 123 here. There's nothing I can really two-step here. But what I can do and what I like to do is, let's say I'm interested in, well, actually, let's edit this search. Let's do a 200-mile radius. A lot of times I'll put the destination on one search, but then I'll leave the destination out on another search. So if I have to two-step it, I'm still seeing everything. Whereas if I go, if I put in the search St. Louis to Phoenix, which is too early to get to Phoenix at that point, then it might show like 1 load or 0 loads. But if I do St. Louis to anywhere, or just pick the Western states, but then you still lose the ability to see what you can two-step with. And you can do this with any broker load boards as well. Like C.H. Robinson, you can open up 2 different tabs and look for your second step and then look for your first step. That's called a backward search. And I'll do an example of that here, right? So I think 123 has a challenge of just going anywhere as a origin. So what we do to kind of combat that, we'll just pick the states. We'll do this. So hit apply. Okay. Going to Phoenix, Arizona. No loads available. Wow. No exact loads found. So let's do this. Las Vegas, Fort Defiance, Henderson, Nevada. And this will tell you the mileage to Phoenix. So, but to do this kind of deadhead, to get to more deadhead on the other end, it's hard to be profitable looking at it that way. So on DHE, what you can do is, okay, we got St. Louis to anywhere, and then let's add another tab here. So let's change this tab. Let's do anywhere to Phoenix. And I picked Phoenix because that's kind of like you don't really see a lot of loads going anywhere else. And we're going to do a 200-mile deadhead anyways. I mean, 200-mile radius anyways. So let's put this for Friday. We'll put this at 200. Search. Wow, there's only 127 loads going to Phoenix within a 200-mile radius of Phoenix on the board right now. So now what we could essentially do is we could essentially, like, let's say I pick this let's see. Now, if you see a lot of short stuff pop up, just get them to Arizona, and then we can just do some shorties if we get there early. But like here's a Denver to Tempe, right? Well, actually, we would want to do this for Monday. Let's switch this around. Actually, I'm dumb. Let's do this for Monday. So this will tell me where he needs to land on Monday to get a load to Arizona. Here we go. That lights it up a little bit better. Topeka to Phoenix. We don't use that broker, but here you go. Get him a load to Topeka, which we saw then on the other search. Make sure this is still good, and then have the broker hold it. So CDN, if you're in here still, would you hold the load if someone was trying to put two pieces together? As long as they got back with you? And then I would try to get that load that was going to either Kansas City or something directly to Topeka, as long as it wasn't Target, because Target might be an 8 to 10 hour unload, right? Here's Evansville, Indiana to Phoenix for Monday. Again, that's a broker we don't use. So let's see what else we got. Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada to Tolleson. So it's 281-mile trip. So if you know, I can look to see on this search if there's a load going to Las Vegas. What does that look like? Here's a Jeff City to Buckeye for Monday. But, you know, if this was on Friday, I would just book this one. But I don't need them there by Monday. I need them there by Wednesday. So we have a little bit of time. So there's no pressure on this. Right. So as long as I land them in one of these areas that can get them to Phoenix on, you know, on Monday, we'll be good. We don't have to worry about the second run. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick maybe Kansas City. I might pick Arkansas, although I don't see a whole lot of Arkansas out here. A lot of California, obviously. And then you got this load, Fort Benton, Montana to Tucson. I'm not doing that. I mean, that's especially not for. I mean, that's paying $1.94 a mile out of Montana. That's actually a good rate, but that's putting a lot of miles on a situation that could fall apart very easily. Because if that load cancels, the pickup in Montana to go to Phoenix, and I get them to Montana, then we're screwed. And we're 1,600 miles from the situation, or 1,300 miles from the situation. So that is a no-go. Now we got this Fulton, New York to Goodyear, but that's too many miles. I need them there by Wednesday. Because then I'd have to get them from St. Louis to New York. Man, it must be 8 o'clock. My YouTube notifications are going nuts. Rochelle to Phoenix. So we might do a shorty to Rochelle. But I hate for him to sit all weekend under that. Now, here's Maple Heights to Tolleson, Arizona. What I don't like about this, number one, is the broker, but number two, $1.30 a mile to go out to Phoenix from Ohio. that no, I'm just not doing that. That rate per day sucks for 2,000 miles. Green Bay to Tolleson. Now, this is something that might be doable because get them to Green Bay out of St. Louis. So I would go back to St. Louis, see if there's anything to Green Bay. So let's put Green Bay. For Friday, 3 loads pop up. St. Louis to Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. That's beer. Get them a beer load, but then I got to watch the weather. Make sure it won't freeze. And then we got I've just done a couple of Raycons with this broker, so I know we're good with them. Decatur, Illinois to Wisconsin Rapids. Puts them 114 miles. So this might be a good string here. So I'm going to save this load. And then go back to where did that load go? I should have saved it. Oh, here we go. Green Bay to Tolleson. Mark that as saved. And then after the live feed, I'll go over these saved loads, kind of create a strategy, call the driver, and say, okay, what do we want to do? Now, 123 has the same kind of features. What I do like about 123 is let's go back to St. Louis to anywhere. Let's pretend we don't need to get to Arizona. Oh, here's one: Union City, Tennessee to Gillette, Wisconsin. A bit of a deadhead, but let's take a look at that. So, yeah, this is below my cost per day. Oh, look at this. This is fishing for carriers. Van, reefer, flatbed, land all, lowboy, removal goose. And they're putting all the trucks there. So that's lame. Let me pick another example. Like here we go. Let's do Paragold to Houston. A bit of a deadhead. Oh, it's got 3 days listed on it. 7-day loadout. So no, there's some weird stuff going on here. So let's do the St. Elmo, Illinois to Cherokee, Iowa. So I can message the broker and say, hey, is this load still available? What are the details? Actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Good morning. Is this load still available? All right. And I'll close that. Then I can mark in the notes called save note. So now when I'm looking at my search, it's flagged right here. And then you keep an eye on your messages over here. So if you use a 123 load board, you get confirmed, you verified, then you can do these things. Because I've seen it from the other side. So what that broker will get is that broker will get an email if they're not checking if not directly connected to 123, and then they can chat through there or they can email me on that deal. But now if I leave this, come back to this 2 hours later, that load's still there or it's reposted, and I see my note, then we know we're good. I know that I've saved this load for a reason. Because sometimes when you're looking at a load board for so long, you come up with these different scenarios. You have to back off. You have to walk away because there's just too much and you're not getting anywhere. And that was one of the skill sets that I did not have when I was at Landstar. I didn't know how to walk away from the load board when I needed to. Because if you get in a desperation situation, that's when you make bad decisions. If you're not thinking clearly, this 2-step process is a lot harder to deal with. And so you have to almost take a stoic approach. You almost have to keep calm and do it yourself, right? And DIY is not even in my life feed to see it. I'm wearing his t-shirt. But keeping a clear head and not letting your emotions get to you is how you maneuver through these tools. And these are just 2 tools that I'm using. What I'm not showing you is the different load boards I would be with the brokers. I would be looking at CH. I'd be looking at Uber. I would be looking at Molo. I would be looking at all these that have their own platform that don't post a whole lot on the load boards. That Ryan Transportation load that I saved, I'm going to go look at that on their website. I just booked the load through their app yesterday. So, these are all strategies of me looking for loads. And a lot of people have been asking, they also want me to do live phone calls of talking, negotiating with brokers. But I won't do that because number one, the brokers probably wouldn't appreciate being put live on YouTube. But also, number two, I'm going to get about 10 phone calls and maybe one person will answer the phone. All right, let me go back to the comments here, and I'll put the load availability map so you guys can stare at it instead of my beautiful face. This is for Van while I read the comments. CDN says Bruce Lee was born today in 1940. Maida, the valley that will load you right up to gross and give you the hills taller than the interstate allowed hills to crawl up. It's starting maybe 20 mile per hour in a 60 mile per hour zone. Yep. What's the best load on the board price wise for a van? Well, in what lane? Like, okay, so we can do everything. Well, no, this is all van, so we would just have to go to each state. What's the best load on the low board anywhere going anywhere for a van? Well, let's do that. So let's do no origin, no destination for Monday. Now, it won't let me do that. So Pop Tart, hey y'all. Happy Thanksgiving. T-Bone, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Pop Tart says, I'm going to have a small Thanksgiving this year. I will not be feeding a lot of people this year. Feeding everyone is tough, dealing with all the food and cooking. Everyone messing up my home. Yeah, I'm going to be at home with all my kids. So, if my customer was wanted to ship as a parcel, yes. Brian Ludwig Jr., good morning, gang. Hope everyone has a good turkey day. Thank you, Brian. Our TMS has a button that if I only had 10 skids but want an exclusive, I pay as a truckload. In Wisconsin state on the load confirmation. Okay. Carrier at risk of non-payment if they add another freight, if time sensitive. Okay. Good morning from the Easy Chair in Midwestern Ohio. Y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Be safe, drivers. Thank you, Alfalfa. Trailer video has been produced, waiting for it to upload now. Good. Send that to the person I know that is interested in it, and you'll be good to go. The profits for the day was not good. It's pretty bad looking at that. Yep. Death is coming. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I love that. Death is coming. Well, be careful and stay safe. Bye, y'all. Snorelord. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everyone else, too. Well, thank you, Pop Tart. Appreciate you. Josh Vegan, howdy, y'all. Mark Ely, anywhere to anywhere. Can't do that. Hamburger helper guy, keg of Heineken on my shopping list. There you go. I like that avatar too. That used to be the way I'd not a keg of Heineken, but some wine or White Russians would be consumed. I haven't touched alcohol since July 5th. So, morning, everyone. Hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. Fate Trucking, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right, so as we pointed out, let's go back to the dashboard here. Volumes are super low today on everything, even the big states. Arizona, though, look at 194 in, 356 out. So volumes are starting to increase a little bit. Illinois is starting to wake up a little bit. So they're starting to wake up. Ooh, Missouri's getting worse. 296 in, 163 out. So I mean that was so let's go to Michigan. Let's talk about Shannon for a minute. 235 in, 215 out. Let's say her truck was ready to go today and she's willing to sacrifice her family time with Thanksgiving for a good rate. Well, these volumes say that that's probably not going to happen. Right? There was a time when that was the case. There was a time that if you worked over a holiday, you got paid well. But you got to understand, there's a lot of non-domicile CDLs out there that don't care about the holiday. They'll take those loads. And the shippers have adjusted where they're not trying to ship on these days anyways, because they don't want to pay the premium prices. So they've arranged things to never have to pay that premium price, whether it's using a carrier that has a lot of non-domicile CDL people or shipping it early. They don't want to deal with all that, right? And all the Christmas freight is in the DCs right now. And if it's something that's super, super urgent, expedited, or an LTL is going to get that. So is it worth it to leave today if her truck was fixed? Probably not. But see, here's the other thing though, and this goes for a lot of lease operators. That truck payment may dictate that you have to leave. So you got to find the thing that's not going to make you lose money over the weekend. And that's going to be difficult to do, especially with these volumes. Right? So, like for example, Missouri's 296, 163 out. And then we've already looked at what St. Louis is doing on this fine loads, right? Missouri's they're showing 286 outbound and 261 inbound. So let's go to Missouri and look what's the highest paying load coming out of Missouri today. So we sort this by pickup date. 1,200 to go to Wichita. Wow. From Cape Girardeau. That's actually not bad. But it's possible that that load probably don't deliver till Monday, and then we're landing in Wichita. What's that look like? Actually, cargo chief's got at 1334, so it's usually been going for more pigment. So that's a manufacturing thing. So it's possible that you may not deliver to this till Monday. It's probably pigment going to the paper place there in Wichita. Springfield to Pleasant Valley, Virginia. Yeah, I could do this load if I absolutely had to, but then I'm landing in Virginia on a Monday. The rate per day is probably not great on this load. So I'd be at that point, like, okay, I've established my business a certain way, so I'll just stay home for the holidays. I'll stay home for Thanksgiving, be here for my family. There was a time where it was worth it to drive the holidays. Now it's not, unless you've got in the spot market, mind you, right? In the spot market, the contract might be a different story. Is probably a different story, or a multi-stop load that's paying really big. That's what I would look for as well. So let's go back to find loads. Let's say I wanted to find a load out of here. To current location. Going anywhere for today. What's the highest paying load coming out of here? 150-mile radius. Sort this by highest rate. $2,000 to go to Hope Mills, North Carolina, out of Edgerton, Kansas. A bit of a deadhead. That's Kansas City. Not quite good enough for the daily rate on that. I don't like that low. That should be about 23, 24 to make that worth it. Higginsville, Missouri to Oklahoma City. That's a good rate. That's almost $3 a mile, $1,200, 402 miles. So I could essentially deadhead up to Higginsville, pick that load up, and then I'd have to go through the house. But if that delivered Monday, but now I'm laying in Oklahoma City on a Monday. Here's the shorty, Danville, Arkansas to Kansas City, $700. But it's quite a bit of deadhead, and that's an old posting, so I doubt that load's even still there. So not much if I wanted to work today, right? So that's why, CDN talked about it several times. That's why you can't figure 30 days a month. You have to figure out so many days a year that you're not going to be working. Shannon's in a situation where she's having to take about a week off, and not her choice. Right? Did Prime buy Trans Am? I hope so. I hope so. I hope that Prime bought Trans Am. And I'll just leave it at that. Sterling Wheel, good morning, kids. Shannon says, yep. Turbo says it's not going to happen either. Does that mean your turbo's bad? Randy says, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Driver, slow down and be safe. Thank you, Randy. Acceleration rules. Been waiting for a doctor since 5 a.m. I'm 2 hours from home. What luck. Oh, I hate that. Next Generation Films, Lexington, Ohio. Stay away, folks. Shannon says, only half in here have hit the like. Please hit the like on the way in and way out. Yeah. And here's some more information I'll scroll to. You paid $30 an hour to sit there? Well, that's good. At least Sterling Will's in the house. Sterling, member for 24 months, man. Thank you, Sterling. I appreciate you. I'm a member of your channel, too. I only glance at the trucking industry now. Dude, job is spectacular. Excellent. We're all happy for you. LTL is offering $36 an hour here. Detention pay needs to be increased. Death is coming. I bought a 77 Trans Am yesterday at the Love's model display. Oh, yeah. Those are great. Great toys. It's going on a week and a half now. I did get one shorty in. She did. And then the deadhead kind of killed it on that. I'm awesome. That's awesome, Steering Wheel. I'll drop y'all's live when I'm able to. All right, let's take a look at reefer real quick. I may go live today. Easy workday ahead. Good deal. I'm going to try. I know I promised this last week, but I'm going to try to get a guitar live feed in one of the channels sometime this holiday weekend. It won't be Friday night, though. I'll be going to a show Friday night. Always need a few model cars next to the Lionel train under the Christmas tree. I get to play Shed Repo. That'll be fun. All the Christmas lights go on this week. Greg Zimmer, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Greg. I just did a whole thing about gratitude. You gotta watch the replay. So this is your reefer market. And because of the yellows and reds around Missouri, Missouri's going to be soft, only 156 outbound. Let's take a look at what those look like. Carthage to Indiana, no posted rate for today. Webb City to Meridian, Idaho. Pretty good rate, 3150, but you're going to deal with some weather. That's for Monday. Today, Carthage to Mount Juliet, Tennessee, 1600. Might be able to get a little bit more depending on delivery times. It's 37 degrees, so that might not even be, it may be produce or cheese. Cheese. A lot of cheese comes out of Carthage. A lot of meat, too. St. Louis to LaPorte, Texas, 1800. Look at your outbound. St. Louis and Nashville. I wonder if this is beer. Nope. 15,000 pounds. Definitely not beer. Probably snack foods. Carthage to Olney. That's going to be the Caves to Walmart. Prime. It's probably going to be cheese. Or dairy. Oh, man. I see the Repo Man excitement, says Shannon. Shannon, Dan feels your pain. Been down for 2 weeks myself with turbo problems. Should get the truck back today. All right, CDN, thanks for coming in. Thank you for everything. Marty, the brokers have internal load boards. Are they not at all putting their loads on DAT? They do as a last resort, but like there are several that don't. Load Smart doesn't. CH Robinson, like if I see a CH Robinson on the DAT board, that means there's an issue with it. Same thing with Coyote. Means they're having trouble moving it. Shannon says, I'm grateful I was still in Michigan when my engine light came on and grateful I didn't need a tow truck. There you go. Repo Man says 1666 is a good paying job, but hazardous. Yes. Well, I know Sterling knows how to take care of himself. Pigtail, what's up? So all right, we'll take a glance at flatbed and van. Or not van, step deck. Then we're gonna end this live feed. Northwest, southeast, northeast. Some decent volumes out of New York. Some decent volumes out of Washington, Oregon, Idaho. More out than in than Idaho. California. There's more loads in Washington than are in California in the flatbed step deck realm. Alabama has the most. And then New York, 355, PA, 170, 159, 177 outbound, Michigan outbound, 163. So New York, Washington, California, Arkansas. Arkansas has got more out than Texas. So those are your areas you want to run. So if you're flatbed and step deck. All right, guys and gals. Thanks for let me read this comment here. I got several. Tim Keller, Gay Western Wear. Every car lot I pass is packed with vehicles. Good time to buy a vehicle. That's probably true. I get to bring my GoPro and a Peacekeeper. There you go. A seed dispenser. I'm also grateful that it's not a real misfire in the engine. Yes, that would be a different story. Sweet Sterling Harold is in. Hirschback haters. How's Wyoming looking? Is I-80 open? Let's do this. Let's Google Maps. And then we'll take a look. Here, let's share the screen here real quick. '80 is open, but it's slow going. 70 is open, but it's slow going. So it's not looking great. So there you go. But it is open. Hit the like, folks. Yes, thank you, Shannon. Wow, still live. Yeah, we're ending it soon. Guitar live stream soon. Yes, I will work on it. 30 likes, 40 watching, not bad. Thank you. Sterling's giving me $10. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Real soon, guitar live stream. Weather all across the country is sketchy. We went over that in the beginning of this video, so if you want, watch the replay. Clear and sunny where cheap CFH is. Almost said CH. By the way, Snorelord, I see the light change you've made in your studio very much better. Thank you. Thank you. All righty, people. Good morning, Michael. We're ending the feed. You came in just in time. Have a good Thanksgiving. I appreciate every single one of you. And make sure you like, subscribe to this channel, and go to my Snorelord OG channel and do the same thing there. So with that being said, strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Maybe we'll see you Friday, maybe not. So later.